All right, good morning. I'm Tommy, and this is Rev Up. So we're on week 10 today. Week 10 or module 10. Hey, the cool thing about Rev Up is it doesn't matter where you start. We will do 12 modules and then probably take a week break and then restart them again. So if you're just starting today at module 10, you'll go through 12 with us and then we'll start over um, at number 1. So today we're talking about finding motivated sellers and preparing to win the listing. These kind of go together. So what we're going to do is just we're going to kind of talk through things a little bit. I will entertain questions. I will ask you this: if you will go ahead and mute yourself and then throw the questions in the chat box. And then when I get to a pause, I will go check the chat box and answer your questions. How about that? Ty, if you let me know at the end of the presentation, I'll make a note as soon as the recorded version is ready. I will send it to you. We do have a link for the previous recorded versions. I can get that out as well. All right, so here are some of our learning objectives this morning. Give me a second. Okay. All right, so we're going to talk about circles of opportunity, how to find qualified and motivated sellers, how to customize your Realty One Group listing presentation. And by the way, I will go ahead and say, if you don't have the Realty One Group listing presentation downloaded, after this training is over, go ahead and download it. And I'll tell you where to go. If you go to your, your one login, go to your one login and go to Design Center, and you should see a link for branding or something to that effect. If you'll look in there, you can download the PowerPoint listing presentation. It has been newly revised or updated. And so that's kind of what we're going to be talking about this morning for the most part, because once you have your listing presentation down, that means you know the content that you want to present to your sellers. Then you can go back and change, tweak it, make it your own, and you know what the steps are in the process. So we'll talk more about that in a minute. By the way, good morning, Brandy. And let me check here. Okay. All right. So we're also going to talk about the 7 steps in the listing process, how to qualify a seller, and using the pre-listing questionnaire. Now, for those of you who are on my email list, you should have received an email from me last night with some downloadables, and you should have the pre-listing questionnaire attached. If you do not, just let me know and I'll get it to you. Also, we're going to talk about effective research and preparation. What are the components of a pre-listing package? How to determine an accurate price range. I'll give you my thoughts on how I do it. And I know Michelle may want to, we may want to ask her for her expertise in that area. Comparative market analysis and scripts and dialogues for sellers. So what, again, I want to say is, look, these Rev Up trainings, they are a kind of an open the door. They're an intro. They're not exhaustive by any means. We're right now coming up with another level of trainings where we go deeper with the Rev Up classes. So kind of, I believe where they end, we'll pick up with another session. But what we want is for everybody to go through these Rev Up sessions first. It'll give you an idea of the ABCs of real estate. You know, how do you start a business? You start out by marketing and branding yourself. So you really can't have a nice listing presentation until we talk about branding and marketing, right? So anyway, let's get started. So top reasons for securing a listing. And I want some of you to unmute and give me your reasons for, I know we see what's on the screen, but why do you go for listings? Somebody tell me. Not looking for a textbook answer.
You, you can have a lot more listings running at the same time than working with buyers.
Okay.
I have
Yeah,
found.
buyers is a lot of windshield time.
Okay. Yep. Who else?
I think another thing too, this is I'm guessing is for marketing purposes, people are going to see your sign and your name with a sign out front more than if you're just working with buyers.
So, yep. So the way I like to say it is listings bring leverage, but also listings bring buyers. So industry standards say that for every listing, you get about 2 buyers. Okay. So if you want to build your buyer business, put out listings. Okay. And look, it works the same. I'm finding that in this business, agents that have been in the business longer, they migrate from being a buyer's agent to be a listing agent, and then they sub out or start a team to handle their buyer traffic. Okay. The reason is, and we'll go over that, is there's a lot less time research and putting a listing up. So once you get a listing up, you can go on and do other things. Now, it doesn't mean you're not working, and it depends on your client and the systems that you're using. But if you're using systems and processes and you're good with people, you can put a listing up really quick and go out. I mean, you're back out searching for other listings. Okay. And while you're searching, other buyer agents are bringing clients to your listing, right? So just depends on how you position yourself. So let's talk about this greater control over time. What does that mean? It means maybe that with buyers, there's an old saying that buyers are liars. I wouldn't particularly say that, but buyers really don't know what they want. They think they know what they want, then they get out there in the market, and depending on the market or what they see, they tweak what they want, or they totally change what they want. And you know, we understand that, and we try to be flexible. But with a listing, it is what it is. Okay, we know what we're marketing, we know how we need to do it, and we know what price range we need to list it at. Maybe the most time consuming thing with a listing for me is working with a seller who's convinced that their house is worth a different price point than what I think it's, or what I'm telling them it's worth. Then there's time spent showing them, all right, these are the reasons why your house is only worth 250,000 versus 350. But it does give you greater control over your time. Number 2, build a reputation in your marketplace. Well, listings help you build your reputation by what? Just by the visibility, right? So, however, with that visibility, if you don't have results and good results for your clients, people talk. So if you're listing homes in a neighborhood and you've sold a couple homes, and now you've sold them under market value, or you didn't have good client relationship customer service, they're going to be talking to other people in that neighborhood, and that's not going to help your business. But the positioning of having a sign in a yard, it means a lot. And whether you think about this, when people put a stake down, it means something, right? They're marking their area. You're, in a sense, marking your area, and other people are noticing, like, oh, that's their listing, or that's their house, that's their sale, that's their business, whatever it is. So anyway, also, you can handle considerably more volume with listings than buyers. We just hit on that. You can handle logistically, and again, with the right tools and processes, you can handle a whole lot more listings than you can buyers, just because you have time. With a buyer, we can only be at one place at one time, right? With a listing, we can have multiple listings up without leaving the house. If you know what I mean there. We're not having to run out every day to a listing, usually. Most sellers become buyers, which results in additional transactions. So keep in mind, Every client that you work with, whether it's a buyer or a seller, is a potential follow-on client. I want you to start thinking that way, because lots of times agents think, oh, well, I'm going to close them out on this and they're not going to buy again for another 5 to 7 years. That is not true anymore. I can't tell you how many times within a year of closing someone, they were already selling or buying something else. So you got to keep in touch with them. Keep up with your clients. How do we find motivated sellers? So there are lots of different ways, but let me give you a visual to help you understand how to go after sellers. One of the biggest questions I've had from our firm lately, I would say in the last month, is how do I find sellers? How do I begin to market myself as a listing agent? Well, number one, don't just go marketing yourself as a listing agent. Market yourself as a realtor, an agent who is in business, ready to help anyone. Now, if you're like me a few years ago, my business was 80% buyer business, okay? I was working with buyers 7 days a week. I was working Zillow leads. Again, what you focus on expands. I decided that after a couple of years of just working 7 days a week and killing myself, that, hey, I want to slow down. I want to turn my business around. So I focused my business more on listings. Within a year to a year and a half, my business had flipped from 80-20 buyers to about 60-40 listings. And then it kind of moved up to 70-30 from there, which is where I've, and I don't focus much on production now, but I will tell you that what you focus on will grow. So where do we go find sellers? Well, think about these circles of opportunity here that you see on the screen. In the middle, the bullseye is the motivated seller. But often we don't get to go straight to the motivated seller. We have to go through some other channels to find them. But they're there. Sometimes they'll call you. Sometimes it's a friend of a friend. Just yesterday or night before last, I had a friend of mine text me. I've got a friend that needs a referral. Can you refer somebody for my friend? I'm like, okay. And she knows I'm an agent. So I said, well, okay, I'll talk to her. So the point is, sometimes people will think you're too busy to handle their business, but they'll come to you anyway. They'll ask you for help. What I like to tell people is, look, I'm in the business of real estate. So for me to tell you I'm too busy to help you, it kind of goes against my whole profession. I mean, this is what I do for a living. So anytime you need help, please let me know. So let's look at these other circles. The first circle is the one we want to focus on. You see it's gold. So these are where your referrals come from. You meet people at during life events or a crisis or whatever it is. It may be door knocking. They may be specialized groups. So here's the idea. The circles of opportunity, the circles that are closer in are the relationships that we've already developed. If we move to the outer circle, those are what relationships waiting to be developed. Okay. So we go with who we know first. That's where the money is. Okay. Why would I start doing cold calling, Zillow leads, any of that stuff before I exhausted my own personal sphere of influence? That's what I try to teach agents. The agents seem to be, no, I want to go buy leads. I want to have people calling me. Well, look, I don't have to buy leads to have people calling me. I get spam calls 50 times a day. If you want to talk to people, just pick up the phone. If you want to go to motivated sellers, don't start with any of that. Start with your own sphere of influence. I will tell you, that cousin, that grandma, that aunt that gets on your nerves is a far better source of sending you business than buying a Zillow lead or any other kind of lead. So that's my rant. Okay, so how do we work referrals? Well, we go out and we meet other agents outside of our market, okay? if you're really smart and you want to do a little bit of work, go inside of Zone, go locate another state or a territory, go in and look at the office, copy the emails, and start you an email list that you send once or twice a month to these areas and get to know these other agents. Tell them to send you business. That is the way it's done. Let me tell you why. Because as an agent who's busy, I don't have time to go vet a lot of agents in other areas. So either I'm going to go with who I know. Say if I got a client that's moving to New York and I've already done business with an agent in a certain area, say Syracuse, I'm calling that agent. Or I go and I ask somebody to give me refer me an agent, tell me who's good in that area. A lot of times agents will go to these Facebook groups and just put in there, hey, who do you know, and so and so. I don't think that's the smartest way to go. If you stay in network, if you go through Realty One Group and go through Zone, you can go and look at their profiles and see what kind of an agent they are before you ever call them. So if you want an agent who works with military, just go in there and search that. Call the broker in charge and ask, who is a good agent that's XYZ that can work with this client, okay? It's a little bit of work, but it'll save you in the long run. Door knocking. I'm not a fan of door knocking, and I'll go ahead and say it. I've knocked on a lot of doors in the past. I don't like it. It's not the way I do business, but if it's the way you want to do business, get out there and do it. The thing is with door knocking, make sure that you're a people person. If you're not a people person, number one, you probably shouldn't be in the business. But if you really don't love people, don't go door knocking, because they're not going to come to the door so happy, right? They're going to come like, who's at my door? And now you've got to win them over. Specialized groups, I would start there. Some of you are already doing that, like Erin. She's prospecting at ball fields and horse stables. That is awesome. People connect there. How about camping groups? How about nonprofit groups or churches that you're in? Now, don't go to church and start handing out your business card on Sunday. That's not cool, okay? But when you get to know people and they know what you do, they trust you, and that's when they call you. Life events, a wedding. Again, don't go out and pass your business card at the next wedding. Go and meet people. Just let them know who you are. Genuinely care about people. The business will follow. Now, there are other networking events we could go to, like real estate related, as far as referrals. But I'm going to tell you, first, I would go with your own sphere of influence, or create your own sphere by doing what I told you earlier. Now, this outside, the FSBOs, the expired, I will tell you that for a new agent, the only place I would go is the circle of influence, maybe the garage sale, okay? The others, like the FSBOs and expireds, probate sales, when you get a little bit of experience, then go venture into those areas. But first, I would tell you, get the hang of real estate, understand real estate before you try to go do for sale by owners and expireds and all that, okay? You just really need to be on your A game, because you only get one chance with those people. Craigslist is still a viable source, no matter what others might say. So anyway, that's my thoughts on circles of influence. And I think I've already spent way too much time on that page. All right, scripts and dialogues. Here's what I want you to remember about scripts. First off, a script you memorize, okay? And then you don't stop there. The next phase, you customize it, okay? Nobody wants you to come up and repeat a canned message. That's stupid. People, they catch on to it. What I really love to do sometimes when I just have time and I just want to be like a little bit of kind of mean, when one of these spam callers calls me, I just try to get them off of their canned presentation. So I always say something that'll throw a wrench in their presentation. I just like to see how they come back, or how they stay on script no matter what. I could say, hey, can you tell me how horses fly? And they continue talking about what it is they're talking about. Anyway, so you want to memorize, then customize, then you want to internalize it. That means make it your own, own it. And then capitalize. It means it's no good unless you use it. So I'm going to give you guys some scripts and or show you where they are, and you can use those. Well, here's what I love about scripts, especially for a newer agent. You don't have a clue what to tell somebody when they ask you a question, right? For the first few years in real estate, that was my biggest fear. Somebody's going to ask me something I don't know. Guess what, people? You know what? You don't have to know everything. In fact, I know a lot of lawyers, attorneys, they don't know everything. They act like they do, but they have access to databases of information, and you do too. So when somebody asks you a question you don't have the answer to immediately, you tell them, hold on, I'll get right back to you within the hour or whatever it is. You go and get with your BIC, get with another agent, go do what you have to do. You get that information and go back. So don't think you have to know everything, because you don't. If you do, you can have my job. Okay. All right. Number one. So I'm going to go against, is it okay if I go against my own, well, Realty One Group. So for the Rev Up program, this is what's taught for the most part, is you do a 3-hour prospecting each day, or each day that you're actually going to work on prospecting. I started out with this plan at Keller Williams. I don't like it because I don't have 3 hours every day. Okay. And you don't either, most likely. Let's just admit it. I doubt how many of us, unless you have your own team and this is your only job, you're probably not going to be prospecting 3 hours a day. So this 3-hour thing, I want to break this up for you. Actually, our one habit that we're going to talk about at the end, even if you just start there, that's great. But this thing, we'll go with the divisions here because I do like them. But the first thing you want to do in prospecting is you want to prepare. Okay. Never go talk to a client, never go to a meeting, never have a phone call without some kind of preparation. So what does that mean? It means you want to time block your schedule. So let's just say you're gonna devote 3 days a week to working on prospects. Okay, making calls, sending out postcards, emails, whatever it is. You want to make sure you put that on your calendar. Um, Calendar it in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or whatever it is, 9 to 10 o'clock or whatever, 9 to 11. This is what I'm going to be doing. I'll be working on growing my business. Um, think about the world shutting down. This is you getting to yourself, maybe in an office, wherever it is, coffee shop, I don't care, but somewhere where you can kind of be to yourself and not be bothered and talk to people. Okay. You want to have a mindset that, hey, I'm going to be positive, because the more positive I am, the more people are going to like me and they're going to want to talk to me. They're going to want to do business with me. Okay. Mindset is key to this business. If you don't have confidence in yourself, nobody else is. Okay. They will see, if you don't have the confidence, they will see it in you. So, one thing you have to learn to do is internalize and understand, come to believe in your head that you're the market expert. That's what you have to do. And let me just tell you this, it's not easy to get a real estate license for the most part. Okay. You had to go through a lot of study and a lot of time. It is not easy to keep your license and be a good agent, because everything changes from year to year and sometimes sooner. So you are the market expert. Okay. Whether you like it or not, I'm telling you, get that in your head, believe it, and be it. Okay. Prepare, prospect, follow up. So number two, the prospecting part is when you pick up the phone and actually talk to people. Okay. Now, I will tell you, some coaches will say the phone is the only way to prospect, right? Carlene, and a lot of tears. Yep. For sure, Carlene. Um, but prospecting, you are spending time engaging with people that want to do, or you want to do business with. Okay. It's not thinking about it. It's not calling your best friend. It's working on people, getting people in your pipeline, getting leads in your pipeline. And the third part, well, I'm not going to tell you how long to spend on each of these areas, but the follow up is crucial. The follow up for me is ongoing each day. Okay. If I talk to 3 people, I want to make sure I put in my calendar that I'm following up with those 3 people within the next 5 to 7 days. If I've talked to somebody that's a new prospective client, then maybe by the end of the day, I'm putting a postcard in the mail. Okay. If you talk to them on the phone and then look, if you take the time to send them a follow up postcard, guess how high up you just went on their list. Okay. They're going to, oh, she took the time or he took the time to actually do this. Most agents will not do it. They won't do it. And my screen will not advance. Okay, here we go. All right, so I've given you access to a tool that will help you in the email. So it's called a progress tracker. So one thing I like to tell, my agents when I'm coaching, mentoring, if you don't track your business, if you don't track your progress, you have no way to gauge your future business. And also, I believe that the act of tracking your business gets you excited and makes you want to do more. Okay. Once you see the progress, once you see that you're making advances, you're going to want to do it more. So here's a way to do it. So track the amount of calls you make or how many doors you knock on or whatever it is you're going to be doing. Knowing these numbers will allow you to track your effectiveness and gauge your results. Now, here's what I want to tell you. If you start tracking your business now, putting your numbers down on paper now, later on, you're going to be glad you did. So there might come a time when you might decide, hey, I want to be on a team, and you're going to interview with that team leader. And if you can show them your stats, your progress, your results, your business plan for the last 2-3 years, that's going to be a win-win. If you track your business, you're going to know where to spend money and where to stop spending money. Okay. This is really going to help you in a lot of different ways. Wouldn't it be great to know how much each phone call is worth? Well, you can know it. For example, the average sales price, let's just say it's 200,000. If you multiply that by 3% commission, that's 6,000, right? If it takes 100 phone calls to obtain a prospect that buys or sells and closes with you, each call is now worth $60. Think about it. If you knew that each call would make you $60, would it make it more exciting to you? Would you pick up the phone more? So just keep in mind that tracking your numbers, it's more about just putting data on a spreadsheet. This is your life. This is building your nest egg, your future. Some of you are in real estate because you got bored. Probably not many. Many of you are in real estate because you wanted an additional income or stream of income. Some of you got in real estate to make it your full-time business. No matter what your purpose is, I know. So I don't think I've talked to an agent yet that's in real estate because they just had extra time. They just want to go out and work more. Everybody that I've talked to has an underlying reason, whether it's family, that vacation they were never able to take before, or whatever. There's always an underlying reason. So there's a reason why we want to win. Okay. So today we want to talk about winning with listings. Now, to win with a listing, we got to know what to say. We have to know what to present, how to present ourselves. So the best tool that I can give you for this is the listing presentation. Now, it is a presentation because it's a PowerPoint, but when I go on listing, I don't call them listing presentations. I call them listing consults. Okay. We are going to consult with a client on behalf of your business. One thing I want you to start understanding is it's not you. Yeah, it's you you're promoting. When you go sit down in somebody's house to talk business and to partner with them to list their house, this is a business decision that you're going to make for yourself and also one they're going to make for themselves. So don't go to a listing thinking, oh, I just got to do what I can do to make them like me. I really want this. No, you need to go with your head on straight, because you might get to this listing consult and find out, I can't list this house. It's not marketable, and I would be wasting my precious time. Okay. I know Michelle's on here. We go back a few years. And Michelle, have you ever been on a listing consult where you just knew that after spending a few minutes that you weren't going to be able to sell this house?
Yes.
How did
Wasn't
so
going
how
to be
did
able to
you
meet their expectations.
okay. How did you how did you relay that to the seller, and how did you get yourself back out? I guess, for lack of a better.
Sorry, my printer's going crazy. I don't know what it's doing. Sorry for the noise. Sorry, Tommy, can you repeat that question?
Yeah, so tell us, how did you relay that to the seller once you understood that?
Honest. Just, I don't think that, the property, I'm not going to be able to meet the expectations that you have.
Wow. Okay. So was it more of expectation, or were they underwater, or both?
Well, actually, I mean, there's been a few, but actually I did have one that they weren't going to be able to get out of the property what they needed to walk away from it. So
Yeah.
It was either bring money to the table. And so that was the conversation was, bringing money to the table.
Yeah.
Or and sell it or not. And they didn't have the money to bring to the table.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, because what I'm trying to relay here or get across is that not every opportunity is the right opportunity for you. Okay. And once you understand that, you can take yourself off the hook. By the way, one of the reasons I got into real estate to have my own business is so I could say yes or no. Okay. When I worked for the state of North Carolina, when business was put on my desk, I couldn't say no. Okay. Every file, whether I liked it or not, I had to take it and work it. Well, guess what? This is your business. One of the best things about this business is the referral. If there's somebody you can't work with, somebody else probably can. Refer it. Make a referral fee. Don't kill yourself, and don't give yourself such a bad experience that you want to get out of real estate. Okay, so let's move on. All right, the 7 steps in the listing process. Can y'all read that? I know it's not too big, but I'll just read them out to you. Number 1, complete the pre-listing questionnaire, qualify the seller, and set the listing appointment. That's number 1. Who's with me so far?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay.
We're here.
All right, just checking. And number 2, research and preparation, okay, which is key. Number 3, create and deliver the pre-listing package, okay. Number 4, conduct the listing presentation and present marketing and pricing strategies. I just want to go back and note that 3 comes before 4, okay. Deliver the pre-listing package before the listing presentation. We'll talk about that in a minute. Then number 5, ask for the listing, complete listing paperwork and obtain signatures. Number 6 is market and service the listing. And then 7 is the after sale follow-up. Okay. Sounds easy and simple, right? I will tell you this process right here. If we did drop downs out of between each of these different steps, I don't think there would be, I think 99.9% of sellers would say, I'm glad I'm hiring you. I don't want to do all that. There is a lot of work to do in a listing, right? But if you have the right system to follow, it's not so hard, okay? It's not so tedious. All right. I want to, okay, so I was talking about mindset earlier. I want, again, to tell you, whoops, Aaron. Okay. It's okay to say no. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's okay to say no. It's okay to refer. But let me say this. If there's somebody that's so nasty, they're so nasty to you and you can't work with them, don't refer that to another agent. Just tell them bye. Okay. Well, you don't have to say bye, but say, hey, based on my business plan, I don't think I'm the best agent for you to work with. And you're okay to say that. But here's something I do want you to get in your head. And on 3, I want y'all to unmute. On 3, let's say it all together. Let's read this one-liner here. All right, so I only work with motivated, qualified, and realistic sellers. So on 3, let's all say it together. 1, 2, 3.
I only work with motivated, qualified, realistic sellers.
Boy, y'all were so loud you made my screen go out. All right, I think I'm back. Okay, I'm back now. Okay, great. So I know y'all just said that, but I know you're going to go out and do the opposite, okay? I did it. I know you're going to do it. You're going to be so eager. I want this business. You're not going to find out if they're motivated first, okay? Just because they tell you they're motivated doesn't mean they're motivated. And are they qualified? Qualified doesn't mean they've explained to you that they can buy, the state. No, that means they've been vetted through underwriting with a capable lender, okay? And they have to be realistic sellers. That third part, if they're not realistic about the business, about what we're trying to do, you're never going to get them in a house. All right. So here's how to say no with grace. If you want to do a screenshot, copy paste, whatever, but just say this, Mr. Smith, I'm afraid that we are not the best match for doing business at this time. I know I'll not be able to meet your expectations, and I would rather turn you down now than disappoint you later. Thank you for your consideration. I wish you the best. So something like that, okay? And it's okay to email this. It's okay to get on the phone and say this. And you're not hurting anybody's feelings. You're actually putting the ball back in their court, and that's what we want to do, okay? The last thing you want is a person who's mad at you telling the whole neighborhood not to work with you, okay? So is that kissing butt? No, it's not. It's being a smart business person, okay? All right, let's talk about the listing process. All right, number 1, complete the pre-listing questionnaire. How many of you have used the pre-listing questionnaire from RevUp? Okay, I see Aaron's hand. Let me see. All right, most of you are not on video. That's okay. All right, so using the pre-listing questionnaire as a guide allows you to ask questions that you might otherwise miss and leave out vital information. So that's what's good about this pre-listing questionnaire. It determines the readiness, willingness, ability to sell, and how realistic or unrealistic the seller's expectations are. Aaron, you drawing on my screen again?
I'm trying to get out of this.
Well, at least draw something nice.
I'm trying to scroll up and I can't get anything out of you.
Dollar signs or something.
I can't even see out. I'm outside. It's too bright. I can't see anything.
Okay,
How do I put this off my screen?
You can keep scribbling. I don't care. All right. So a lot of times sellers want to go straight to talking about how much you can sell their house for. Well, I would try to deflect that until you get a little more information. That doesn't mean ignore them. What I tell them here, and I'll tell you in a minute how I do my listing consults. I set it up so that I have 2 visits with the same client. And 99% of the time it works. Some believe that the only difference between agents is the price they recommend. So a lot of times sellers will shop agents thinking, If this agent tells me they can sell it for $3,000 more, I'm going with them. So guess what? Guess who will sometimes win these listings? New agents who don't know what they're doing, who say, "Oh, I can sell it for 20,000 more." Yeah, right. By the way, you agents that are cutting your teeth in this market, don't get used to it. So I came up in the market where if you didn't list a property within $2,000 of market value, you you weren't just not looked at. I mean, you didn't get anywhere with this listing, okay? And everybody knows if you listed too high, you had to take it off the market, then relist it at a different price. Everybody still knows what's going on. So look, this is a great market to make mistakes when it comes to a listing. In this market, if you list it too high, you're not going to get the big eyeballs like in the past. But this market is not going to stay like it is forever. Okay. So understand that your pricing has to be based on the existing market that you're in. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Okay, that's all we need to talk about there. Then you set the appointment. Now, well, let me go back and make a comment about the appointments. One thing you don't want to do when you're making an appointment with a seller is you don't want to ask them, okay, when are you available? What's good for you? You want to do this. Say, if you're talking to them at 12 o'clock today, you might say something like, I can be at your house by 5:30 this evening. Is that good for you? Or if they say no, give them the option of Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon. What you don't want to do is give them more than 48 hours, because if you put that listing consult out further than that, more than likely they're going to cancel it, or they're going to have an appointment with somebody else, and then you're not going to get the listing. So make sure that that appointment follows closely the conversation that you're having initially. Now, qualify the seller. You know, we don't need to spend a lot of time. I hope you guys were on the call with the lender last week. You know what it takes to qualify a seller? I'm sorry. I'm thinking
Yes,
buyers.
I was there.
Okay, that's buyers. Qualifying the seller is almost has the same intensity with a different focus. Okay, we don't need to know they have money in their bank account, but we need to know that the property has equity. Or let me just say this: if we're selling a property that they owe more than it's worth, are they prepared to come to the table with, the balance? Most times not. So that's going to be a deal killer. So why wait until you put all this work into a listing? It's been on the market 2 weeks. It goes under contract. It's another 3 weeks before you find out. The attorney calls and says, "Hey, we just got the payoff here, and you're selling this house for, 235, and it's worth. The balance is 245." I mean, that sounds crazy, but it's happened before. Has anybody ever heard of a second lien?
Yes.
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 Sellers they won't always tell you, or maybe they don't even know if they have two liens on their property, okay? Or there's a mechanics lien, or the IRS has a lien. By the way, a previous partner of mine went and listed a house, didn't find out till it was under contract that the IRS had a lien on it, and the lien was so heavy, the seller would have had to come out of pocket by $40,000. And so guess what? It was a deal killer, right? But he had already invested about 2 months in that listing. This was a few years ago, but and it just everything fell apart with the seller and everything. So You don't have to get that far if you ask the right questions up front. Okay, we're not going to go through this pre-listing questionnaire. You guys have a copy of it. If you don't, just hit me up. I'll give you a copy. But when it comes to research and preparation, if you can't see the home before your appointment, ask a lot of questions. Okay, you can't do a proper CMA without asking certain questions. By the way, I said when I do a listing consult, I do it in 2 parts, right? So when somebody calls me and says, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house, do you think you can help? Yes, ma'am, I can. So let me see, give me your address. Let me do some market research. And then can I come and see you on this day and time? Okay, yep, got it. So when I go to their house, I'm going to have my comparative market analysis in hand, right? And I'm going to have a report that I download from RPR. Just because it looks good, it's a lot of factual information. They'll look at it and say like, oh, you know all this about my house? I'm like, yes, ma'am, I do. So I go there, but I know that CMA is not going to do the trick because I haven't looked at the house and I haven't had all the questions answered. But I go there armed, and what I say is, if they press me on a price early, I'm going to say, ma'am, ballpark, without looking at the interior of your house, I can give you 3 price ranges. And what I do is I say, based on what I see from your house, from the internet view, your house is worth X. Okay, your house is worth 200,000 top of market. Okay, that means, if we list it, it's a stretch, but we might be able to list it 200. We might be able to get under contract near 200. Or we can list it at 185 and sell it, rather quickly. Or we can list it at 175 and it's going to go under contract like that. So I give them 3 prices. And the reason I do that is because if you only give somebody 1 price point, that's all they're focused on. They get tunnel vision. They can't think about anything else. But when I give them those 3 ranges, it seems to open their mind up a little bit. And by the way, when I tell them, look, this price I'm giving you is top of the market, I don't recommend we start here. I recommend we start with the second one. Even if they do press me and say, no, we're going to go top of market, at least after a week and there's no offers, now I have the leverage to get them back down to the price, where I really wanted to list it. Okay. So it helps you get a good idea of what the home looks like compared to the comps and get a more accurate value. Number 3, create and deliver the pre-listing package. So in the good old days, we usually had time, okay, to mail, drop off, hand deliver, whatever, a pre-listing packet to the seller before we ever get to the consult or for the actual in-person meeting, right? And you can still do it. You can have something FedExed. It is, if you can do this, it's just a one-up. It's showing people that, hey, I'm serious about my business. I want to get you this information. It's real easy to email it, right? Well, if you email it, I would do something like, I would download a report from RPR because it looks good. It's very organized. They can find all the information and email that to them as a attachment. So in the pre-listing package, you want to have the following information about their home, the CMA, your resume, sample contract, and a cover letter. Okay, that's it. That's the pre-listing package. Here's an example of a cover letter. And I can't remember if I attached a cover letter to your email or not. If you want to snap a screenshot of that, basically it says, hey, I've gathered some information about your home. I've also included information about myself and my company. I mean, it's very simple. And here's what also some extras they put in there is, by the way, there are a few things you may want to have handy for our appointment. Number one, a spare key. Well, we'll need this for the lockbox. Why would you put that on a cover letter? Somebody tell me.
I want to give the impression that I am moving forward with a contract.
Absolutely. You're ready to, you're locked and loaded. When you get there to that appointment, you're ready to do business if they're ready. Okay. Number two, a recent mortgage statement. Again, now you're helping the lender out here. Okay. You're getting them thinking about this process and what they need to have available. The homeowner association information. Yep. The reason you want a recent mortgage statement is you want to look at their payoff. You don't want to ask them. You want to see it on paper, because most times people don't even know what they owe. Okay. Number four, a copy of your trust or LLC if the property is held in either. If you're selling somebody's property that's in an LLC, you're going to need that. Okay. So this is just good information to have, even if you don't put it in the cover letter. Just know this. The listing process. Okay. This isn't a balanced market, guys. Okay. This is in a regular market, not today's market. Okay, in a seller's market, sellers are in control, right? That's why I would call it a seller's market. So let me look at my notes here. I'm starting to think about what I can skip here. Hold on. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think we're good. So in a seller's market, we're talking about inventory here, right? 1 to 5 months of inventory. I mean, sorry. Well, okay. This doesn't make sense in our market, right? But in a again, a balanced market, you got 6 months of inventory, right? In a seller's market, it's 1 to 5 months. Does anybody know what our inventory is right now?
Is it 2 months?
The last time I checked, it was less than a month.
Yeah, I saw less than 30 days.
Okay, still there. So we are in a hyper seller's market. So look, when you have a little bit of something, it always drives the price up, right? The housing market's the same way. If we're in a buyer's market, traditionally, you could say we have 7 to 12 months of inventory. Michelle, I keep picking on you, but I know if we go back to 2008, 9, 10, maybe even 2006, 7, do you remember how the inventory, what the inventory looked? I think I remember like 15 to 18 months.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. It was a horrible market. Wonderful time to get into business.
Yeah, sellers were giving away like TVs. Firms would do promotions. Look, what builders were giving vacations away, all kind of stuff. But anyway, so that's that. I just want you guys to understand this market is like, I was going to say unrealistic. It's not unrealistic. It's just, this happens once in a blue moon. Hopefully we will get more towards a balanced market, and you would appreciate that we do, because your business, I know there are a lot of us making money in this market, but you can actually make more money in a balanced market. I'm not going to talk about that today, but just think about it. All right. In Rev Up, what is the one habit that we talk about religiously, consistently, that we want you guys to incorporate into your business plan, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, mindset? Who can explain the one habit?
Three calls, 3 additions to your database and 6 handwritten notes.
Okay, thanks, Aaron. So a good way to teach you to start prospecting, okay, building your business, is each day make 3 phone calls. Now, 3 different people, okay? 3 people that you can do business with to start out with. I don't care if it's grandma, grandpa, just call somebody. But you don't want to, you want to move on to calling people that you don't know, okay? Or friends of a friend or whatever it is. You want to call people to get them to know you, to do business with you. Then what you want to do is add those 3 people to your database. An easy way to do that is when you talk to those 3 people, say, hey, I would love to put you on my email newsletter list. It goes out twice a month. It has some really good information in it. Can I add you? Yes. Okay. Then add them. And then the 6 handwritten notes. The 3 people you just called, you're going to send them a note. Plus, you're going to send 3 other notes to 3 other people in your database you haven't touched lately. Okay. So it's that simple. I want to change out. I'm going to pause. Give me a second here. I'm going to go pull something else up here. Let's see if I can get enough stuff off my screen. Here we go. Questions to seller. Karen, are you talking about the pre-listing? I'll get with you.
Not the pre-listing or the questions. I have this.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
don't have the other one, you know, the questions like, is there a
The
pantry?
ones that were on my screen.
Yes,
Okay. Let me see if
Thank
I
you.
have those.
thank you.
Okay. All right. So I've attached 3 tracking sheets to your email. Okay. The first one is the circle of influence. Okay. So you've got Monday through Sunday, goals versus actual. Okay. So what you would do is like put a goal and then a slash and then whatever the actual was on each day. Then you can go down at the bottom. You can tally them up for yourself. But what you're going to do is you're going to sort these. Okay. Was it a face-to-face? Was it a phone call? Was it a note card? Was it an open house? You get the idea, right? And EXP is not the real estate company. That's expired, okay? We don't talk about EXP here. Okay, so it's expired with contacts, okay? FSBO contacts, farm contacts. Okay, so I think you kind of get it. So what you're doing is, what this will show you is what kind of people you're getting this, or leads or prospecting methods you're getting the results from, okay? The next sheet is just a continuation, okay? Internet leads, listing appointments, buyer appointments. And then the third one is, this is where you tally everything up. Listings taken, listings sold, sales, closings, prospects. Now, I'll tell you a little secret. Y'all know who Amanda is? Sure you do.
Yep, of course.
Ty, I'll get your question at the end, okay? So if you email Amanda and say, hey, Tommy said you had a business tracking spreadsheet, could you share it with me? It's a whole lot more comprehensive than this sheet right here, okay? But this is enough to get you started. And I have one more. Give me a second. Let me go into my file here. So I can't remember. I think I attached the pre-listing questionnaire document. I don't know that I have those questions. I might go back and just let you do a screenshot of it, Karen.
Yeah, that will work.
Or I
If you
could
would
do
do
that
that,
and send it to
that'd be
you.
great.
Okay, all right. So I was looking to see, let me just open this up for a second while you guys are still here. Oh, here they are. So did I not attach this to the email?
I didn't see it.
I have
Okay.
that.
It was attached to my email.
It
I have
was?
two.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, check it, Karen. If you don't have it, just let me know. And then,
thank you.
did I attach this?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I did? Okay. All right, so I think you guys have everything. There is something else I wanted to show you. Well, let me make sure. I want to show you my listing presentation. Let me see, because I know some of you are new on here. I think this is the last one. Let me see if I can open this right quick. Okay, so these icons are all over my screen. Hold on a second. Okay, all right, so this is what the listing presentation looks like, okay? So you will go in and actually populate it with your information. So you can go in under Realty One Group and put in Revolution. And then, whoops, let's see. Here we go. One home, one dream. You can change that verbiage as you like. The one manifesto. I think this is really good stuff in here. So understanding your wants, needs, and expectations. Okay, it says enter info here. So this is what you're telling them. My goal as a real estate professional is to yada, yada, yada. Okay. Then this is where you're going to put more like your resume. How many years you've been in real estate? Why are you in real estate? Now, if you're new in real estate and you don't feel comfortable putting year one in real estate, just put other data like you know, I can tell you this, like, for example, between the leadership at ROG, the years in real estate, I mean, it exceeds probably 60 years in real estate. So you can come up with some type of stat that gives you leverage. So, you know, the 60 plus real estate agents in my firm, we all work together, whatever it is. You don't have to focus in on you, okay? Or put other stats about yourself, okay? Like for me, before I got in real estate, I mean, I was in business before, so don't get stuck if you think, oh, I'm year one in real estate and I don't want to put that down. You can put other things. So I like this. On average, over 25 professionals are involved with the Realty One Group transaction, so you don't have to worry. We do all the work for you, kind of thing. Marketing strategy. These are the things that some of the things that we do. First impressions. So this is stuff you want them to look at. They need to know that first impressions, if they're selling their house, that means a lot. So that means we got to talk about curb appeal. We got to talk about interior paint. We got to talk about floors, right? We got to talk about cleanliness. Home staging 101. Again, you can change any of this up. Determining the price. Pricing depends on location, property condition, supply and demand, economic trends, and strategic negotiations. That all is a consideration. It's not just a cut and dry, okay, let's just sell it at 250. So there's your marketing pyramid. Now, this is what I like. Buyers finding homes by age. Why do they want to have a realtor helping them? Do you see anything on this graph that helps you. So look at number one. These people are looking online for properties. You're already online. You can tell them your business is online. These people are going to come across you first. You have first dibs when it comes to intersecting with potential buyers, not the homeowner. Okay. Homeowners aren't set up for business. Okay. Unless they're in the business. Okay. All right. Anyway, there's lots of good things on this particular page. Maximizing your exposure. These are some of the companies that they're going to see their listing on when it goes live. Power of the media. You want to tell them about our one app, which is getting changed over, but they don't have to know that. Social media. Now this is where you go in and put your information down at the bottom. And this is totally fillable. Going global. So all Realty One Group listings are advertised across a trusted network of international websites powered by ListHub Global. I don't know if you guys knew that, but your listing will appear in over 85 top international sites located in over 50 different countries. It's a good selling point. Here's where you put testimonials, just copy paste. And then let's get started. Here's what we're going to do. So you're giving them the 6 steps right here. We're going to do a CMA. We're going to determine the price. I'm going to list your property. Then we're going to initiate the marketing plan. Then I'm going to put a lockbox on, then a yard sign. So they know what's next with you, okay? Nothing, they're not in the dark here. Here's some additional marketing. And if you order marketing through our company, the Design Center, this is what it looks like, or some of it. All right, this is some of our rankings. So you want them to know that you're working with a company who's been around for a while. We're top ranked in a lot of different areas. You're selling yourself, number one, okay? But it does help to be with a good company. Okay, and here's an additional page if you want to use it, okay? All right. So that's a listing presentation. If you want to see mine personally, crap. Sorry. I don't know if that's it or not, but let me pull one more thing up. I sent you a copy of a seller's guide. Let me just go through that right quick, just so you know what it is. Okay, just like we put out a buyer's guide earlier, the seller's guide, look, this is something that okay. This is not a pre-listing packet, but it's the next best thing. If you meet somebody who's thinking about selling their house or they're still on the fence, send them this, okay? Seller's guide, put your information in it. You can change that image if you want to. What are the 4 keys to selling your home? Price, marketing, condition, availability, okay? See, the one thing about those 4 keys is most people, that's not their expertise, but it is yours, okay? Maximum online exposure to buyers right here. Generating interest early, pre-MLS marketing. Build momentum. Property tours for sale sign. Active on the market. Here's what happens when it goes on the MLS. And we show them the difference of, okay, why they need professional photography, why they need to let you set that up versus them try to take the pictures. And you can replace that with your pictures as well. Then we take them through the phases. Phase 1, preparing for an offer. Okay. This is good information, especially for somebody who's never sold their house before. Then we get to phase 2, the offer and sales agreement. Again, just walking them step by step through the process, the terminology. Phase 3, prepare for the closing. Okay. For the analytical person, they will eat this up. Even if other people just scan through it, it makes you look good. You're getting them information that's good information for them. Pricing strategy, here's how we do it. Look here, start on the right path. The first 2 weeks your home is listed on the market are the most critical. Factors that do affect the value of your home. Factors that don't affect the value of your home. Okay, anyway, and here is a preparation checklist. Now, let me tell you what you guys can do. You can take and make this last page a PDF. And here's what you can do. You can go on, say, one of your, a Facebook group that you're in. You can go drop a one-liner. Who would like to have a home pre-sale checklist? Just DM me DM me your email or whatever, however you want to do it. They send you their email and you drop them this. Well, now you've got their email. Now you can follow up with them, and now they have their checklist. So there are a lot of different ways to do it, but just get creative. Now don't go violate, Facebook group rules and stuff like that, but there you go. All right, so we're at the end of our time here. So I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Tommy, for that.
On the rev up.
Yeah, that was a great idea.
Yes, thank you.
There's a couple of you that had questions. Are y'all still with me?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, my computer blacked out again. I think it's time to get another computer. All right, Karen, I think I need to send you check if you don't have that, email me and I'll send you a copy of that checklist.
I will. Thank you.
Questions. And then Ty, okay, I want to answer your question if you got a minute. So Ty asked,
I have a moment.
okay, if how would you research if the sellers have liens, particularly a second lien? Well, when the attorney does the title search, they're going to find everything. If you have a question about a particular client or property, what I would do is ask the attorney to do that early or do it up front. Or if you suspect or they suspect that, or for whatever reason, if you're suspicious about them owing more on their house than not, you can have them, you can say, hey, I'll work with you, but we need to do a title search first, and just have them pay the attorney to do the title search. And that way, you can go check records at the county courthouse. That's a little bit time consuming. In Mecklenburg County, I think you can look online. You can do a deed search. I should get Amanda to do a little class on that, show you guys how to do that. But you can get some information there. The best way to go though is, like, attorneys pay people to stay down at the clerk of court's office and pull records. And that's how you find out who's got a lien on properties. But for all I want you to do is understand that things can come up that you didn't expect, and just be ready. Just know what to do. Sometimes you can't do anything. Sometimes something will come up. This house is just, it's not going to be sellable. There's so much underwater or whatever. It might be good for them just to go talk to the bank and do some kind of foreclosure, or they might want to, I don't know. Haven't seen a lot of that lately, but in years past I have. Oh, did I answer your question, Ty?
Yes, very much so. Thank you. You did.
For agents, for investors in general, they tend to do title searches up front, or they should. Some do, some may not, but you could do that. Get an attorney that you work with on a regular basis. Somebody's going to turn it around pretty quick for you. Or go to a title company and have them do it. It's like, I think like $250 maybe, something like that. But could be a good investment. And plus, if you're going to close with them, you're just doing the title search up front anyway. You're not losing anything. Any other questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, if there are no other questions, and thanks for joining the Rev Up today. Sorry, my voice is a little in and out, but it's good to see you guys. Welcome, new agents, and we'll talk soon. See you next week at 9:30.
Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.